The King's back. Thank y'all once again for tuning into the one and only Blake Check. It's the culture commentator, King Blake, tapping in once again. More content for your head top. Let's get into it. Now, the 17-year-old shooter responsible for taking PNB Rock's life has been arrested, and his pops, Freddie Trone, is being sought in connection to the murder as the getaway driver. Again, a 17-year-old shooter is arrested and charged. So, listen, details are coming out how the father and son duo was in the parking lot as they arrived, waited for them, and the son went inside, shot him, took the jewelry, and all of that type of stuff and activities. So now this pivots me to all of those people, the ones who were so quick to try to blame his fiance for posting a picture of the food in the restaurant. See, I never was one of those on that wave, because to understand what happened in this situation with me, when their food arrived, right? It's different when somebody take the picture when you first pull up and things like that. When the food is there, right? The food is on the table. She takes the picture and posts it. I don't know if she posted it immediately. She posted it 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Regardless, right? For that picture to then get uploaded, whoever's following them to then geotag it, say that's the Roscoe's there, and get there. Listen, I don't know about y'all, when my food come at the table, 20, 30 minutes max, especially depending on the location like that, I'm up out of there. I'm not parlaying. I'm not sitting there making myself any longer exposed to that environment than I have to be, especially if it's in the hood or somewhere that I see even remotely dangerous. We in and we out of there, if we even sit down, right? So you got to think about a 17-year-old shooter and his pops was the getaway driver. Let's analyze that, because that's sick, bro. Like, we're in a day and age now where we're seeing this happen a little bit more often, where you have Queso and his pops situation where his pops was the getaway driver. Now you have this young man and his pops, Freddie Trone, as the getaway driver. And it's like the young boys, we gotta get through to the youth, man, because the young boys is the one pulling the triggers in a lot of these situations. Pop Smoke was killed by young boys. XXX Tentacion was killed by young boys. PNB Rock now has been killed by a young boy, and Dolph was killed by guys who were young as well. You know what I'm saying? Early 20s, not as young, but it's like the youth is constantly seeing the flashiness. They're seeing the money, and they buy into it. I remember when I was young and impressionable, that's easy to happen, man. You got these young boys thinking that they got to get ahead by any means necessary, right? So they're hungry, they're bold, and they're more willing to take the chances to get what they see paraded in front of them on their social medias and their music videos. So they're the main audience that's watching these guys stun on them, and then when they get a chance, they're gonna try to come up on a lick. Like, that's just the nature of the streets right now. Nobody's saying that that's the right way. Nobody's saying that's how things should be, but that's the reality of the world that we living in, right? So you have to understand where you are at all times, especially when you're one who's considered flashy or walking around with jewelry and things that you ain't trying to give up. Listen, if you the type of person that when that gun come in your face, you giving it up smooth, listen, you go walk around however you want to walk around. It is what it is. But if you the type of person that's like, I have the attitude of I ain't going, or they ain't taking nothing from me, then this ain't the time to be doing all of that, bro, because trust me, it's getting crazy out here. The divide between the have and the have-nots is happening, and people are sick of it. And when they get an opportunity, they gonna pounce on it. And if you are that opportunity, be prepared to be pounced upon. Now, which brings me to my next issue on my agenda. PNB Rock's lady deserves an apology. She deserves an apology from somewhere, but we all know how this world works. She ain't gonna get one, because she was so quickly blamed so quickly blamed. All the fingers were pointed at her. Obviously, this is why it happened. This woman had to watch it happen experience it happened, and then the trauma of being the lone survivor between the two of them that went there, and then now they're out in Cali. So you got people in Philly where he's from with questions. You got his family members with questions. You got people now alleging her making that post was the reason why it happened. So now they probably was looking at her sideways at the funeral and everything. Like, it's so much that goes into it, so many intricacies, right? But then you have people like Nicki Minaj pouring onto it, talking about, oh, after what happened with Pop Smoke, our loved ones is still compromising our positions and locations for a picture of chicken and waffles. Like, that type of energy and those type of people jumping to conclusions and assumptions is not good for nothing and helps nobody in those situations, but people continue to do so all the time. I don't understand it, but again, that's the world that we live in. I personally believe this woman is owed an apology tweet from Nicki Minaj. After all of that, she should say something, because she probably helped pile on to all of the grief and all of the sorrow that the woman was dealing with as a result of this. What y'all think, man? Comment, let me know if y'all think I'm tripping. Y'all don't think that woman is owed an apology. Some people feel like she was wrong for even doing that anyway, whether it was the cause of it or not. You know, people just gonna double down in their positions. But this is food for thought. Y'all do the dishes. King Blake, more content to come. Until then, I'm gone.